Hey everyone, welcome to Two Car Pros. My name is Ryan, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to change a thermostat out on a 2014 Ram 1500 with a 5.7 liter V8. If your truck in the morning takes forever to warm up for the heater to work, well, your thermostat might be stuck open. Or does your truck overheat? Your thermostat might be stuck closed. I've seen it both ways. Luckily, the fix is nice and easy, so let's jump into it. And before we get started, squeeze the upper radiator hose to make sure that there is no pressure in the system. It is completely cool. Do not open the system unless you can squeeze this hose very easily. And the engine's cool. And then we're gonna open the radiator cap. You can even just remove it, that's fine. Set that aside. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk underneath the truck so you can gain a better sense of where we are working today. And right here is the radiator petcock drain. And we need to access that. And no, unfortunately on this truck, you might notice there's a lot of plastic missing. Usually there's like a piece that goes here and a whole shroud that goes around the radiator. This truck doesn't have it. I'm sorry, I can't show you that. I can't show you what I don't have. So you either need to remove that or there might be an access hole of some sort, but this is where we're gonna be today. So now we can loosen this drain with a 16mm wrench. And right here, it's already kind of dribbling out, is where the coolant is going to come out. There we go. And just let it all come down into a bucket. So once your coolant is slowed down to just a small drip, we're gonna go ahead and retighten this petcock drain. And this is just plastic, so just, wrist tight is fine, because if you bust this off, well, you're into buying a new radiator, and that would not be fun. And then I'm gonna remove the Upperator hose from the thermostat housing using my special tool here. Link it down below in the description, and just walk the clamp backward until it's clear of that barb. And we can just wiggle the tube off there. Awesome. Next, we're going to take a 13mm socket, remove these two bolts that hold the thermostat housing on. Oh, there it goes. And then reach in there and grab your thermostat. Might take a little bit of persuasion. And there we go. So now we can replace our thermostat, and here's our replacement unit, and the link is located down below in the description. And I want to point out that I put a thin film of RTV all the way around this seal. If you are not comfortable doing that, it's fine. Just use WD-40 or some grease. And we can just pop that in there, swedge it down, make sure it is happy, just like that. And here's our stock housing, but you might notice that I have cleaned it very thoroughly using a wire brush and some carburetor spray. Looks brand new, so it's ready to go back on. Have my bolts ready. And I don't think it matters which way it goes on. I think it can go on either way. And then we're just gonna snug those down. 13mm socket. And you don't wanna go one side too much. In fact, I think I did this side a little too much. You just wanna go as evenly as possible. So that way, the housing sits down square and you get equal compression forces. So just kind of go side to side, bringing it down. And our torque spec for this thermostat housing is 10 foot-pounds, 10. There we go. Awesome. Just slink it on down like that. So there's our final product, what that should look like. I use a pair of channel locks and just kind of walked it down so it's behind the barb right here at the end of my finger and where my thumb is. So this is what your final product should look like. Shouldn't be able to pull it off at all. That is awesome. So the next thing I'm going to do is place a funnel. I have this fancy funnel that I really like using that can kind of just perch itself on top of our radiator inlet like this, and it's kind of neat because it has this stopper. So like, let's say you filled it all the way up and it's not accepting anymore, you can stop it like this and take the funnel away. I've always liked using this one, and the link is located down below in the description if you want the same one. This is the coolant we're using today, orange coolant. You might notice I'm using concentrate because this is probably going to take a good amount of coolant, and I can just keep adding a gallon of concentrate, gallon of water. If you're not comfortable doing that and you think you might mess up the ratio because you want to keep it right at 50-50, kind of depending where you live, then just get the pre-diluted stuff. So it'll definitely take this gallon, if not much, much more. And just keep adding coolant and water in that 50-50 ratio until it stops adding, and effectively what you've done is filled the radiator but you obviously haven't turned on the water pump yet because the engine's not on. So once it's completely, you know, filled up and it's not really going to accept anymore, we can turn the engine on and it'll drop that level. So now that I have a gallon of coolant in there, pure concentrated coolant, I'm going to add distilled water, a whole gallon of it. And this will ensure that my ratio stays at 50-50. And you could totally use gallons you get from the grocery store. That's totally fine as long as it's distilled. I just happen to have a distilled water source for my CNC machine, so I just wandered this over and filled it up. So with the truck on and the heater on full blast, we're just gonna keep an eye on it. We're gonna keep a look on the temp sensor, make sure the truck isn't overheating, kind of feel around, don't put your hands anywhere near where the engine rotates over, and just see if the radiator feels like it's getting hot, the hose is getting hot. If something seems off or too hot, just turn the truck off until you figure it out. But what I'm gonna do is just watch this coolant level, because as the thermostat opens, this is going to drop. So we need to just kind of keep an eye on it and wait for that moment to happen. So this is the reason I wanted you to turn the heater on full blast, because we can see according to the truck, it's 179 degrees on the coolant temp sensor. So this should mean that the heater is blowing hot. Oh yeah, that's very, very toasty. That's how I know the heater core doesn't have a bubble in it. And then just sit here and watch it idle. Does it get super hot or is it all right? Look at the temp gauge, look at the coolant sensor right there. If it gets like over 210, I would turn it off and figure out what went wrong. Maybe you're low on coolant, maybe you need a new radiator cap. Something's off, but this is perfectly fine idling at 179. As you can see, it's currently 68 degrees outside, and obviously that's going to change if it's like 110, so you have to kind of grade it on a curve like that. But right now, this truck seems perfectly good, ready for a test drive. So I've driven the truck around for a couple of hours, couple heat cycles, let it get cold, let it get hot, quite a few times. Everything is perfectly good. And I'm just going to double check the coolant level, of course, making sure there is no pressure in the system. You can grab this, it's totally nice. The engine's completely cooled, so I can remove this cap. And then just look in there. Is there coolant? Yep, it's all the way up to right about there. Awesome. Looks like there weren't any more air bubbles to deal with. And then take a look in the overflow. If it's completely empty, put a little bit in there. You want it about halfway, and you should be all good to go. And then of course, make sure your radiator cap is on nice and tight. And if this radiator cap is old and you're dealing with some overheating problems, consider replacing the cap, because if the system can't build up pressure, it will overheat. And most of the time, the culprit is the radiator cap. $5 part, really easy to change out, but this one seems to be working just fine, so we're gonna run it.
So that's how to replace a thermostat on a Ram 1500 from 2015 with that 5.7 liter HEMI V8. Fairly easy and straightforward. This is definitely something you could do in your garage, saving you hundreds of dollars, I'm entirely sure, compared to the dealer or something like that. This is definitely something you can handle on your own. If you found this video helpful or interesting at all, please consider becoming a member by clicking that join button down below. It is a direct way to help my channel out. Barring that, a like, comment, and subscription go a long way in helping me out and tells YouTube that I did a good job, and I would really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.